Welcome to the HR Happy Hour Work Break. I am joined today by my friend Madeline Lorano. Madeline, what's happening?
Hey, Steve. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. It's good to see you. It's a semi-regular thing we do here on every few weeks on a Friday, right? We'll jump on the work break together. So it's good to see you again. How have things been? It's been a little while since I chatted with you.
Yeah, they're good. They're busy. We have definitely hit almost winter time here in Boston, so it's freezing cold. But everything's good. It's been busy. We've been doing lots of research at Aptitude and lots of events, lots of virtual events. So pretty cool.
Yeah, before the show, we were chatting briefly, and you told me you were back to back all day on calls. So it's still busy, and the virtual events are they're coming fast and furious. We were together on one earlier this week, along with some other folks at the Beamery event. And I mentioned it briefly, but Madeline, this is really your area of expertise, right in your sweet spot. Maybe if you wanted to just say a couple words about that event and do it a little more justice probably than I did earlier in the week.
Yeah, I thought it was a great event. And they had this analyst event, and they were really kind of taking a different direction than they have in the past. And what I liked is that they started out and said, we're a 10-year company. We're not a 1-year company. And that means a long-term vision on foundations, which is, a lot on quality of data, integrations. And we actually did a report. They sponsored it, and it's on a lot of those themes. So coming out from Aptitude soon, a report, a really technical report. And I haven't done one of those in a long time. So really focused on integrations, really focused on data management, automation. So stay tuned.
Yeah, and you'll be able to find that on your website when
our website.
Yep. Awesome. All right, we'll look for that. That was cool. Yeah, they did a nice job at the event, and so thanks to them one more time. And then I do want to just quickly, if you can notice my hat, our friends at Paychex are so great to us. We've worked with them, a lot. They sponsored the HR Happy Hour podcast, and Trish was wearing her Paychex hat, I think last week maybe, and I immediately had hat envy. Right? I'm a hat guy, right? Because when you have hair like mine, hats are an important part of your life. And I was like, wow, I really want one of those hats. And of course, I got a tweet from the great folks at Paychex, like, oh, check your mailbox, dummy. And I never did until today, because my mailbox was overflowed with stuff. So my stuff was there. Thank you, Paychex. I love this hat. I like that it's an Under Armour hat.
Well, I was going to say, I think I noticed.
Under Armour guy. I like how they went with Under Armour. And so thank you to our friends at Paychex. And thank you for the hat. I'll be wearing it all weekend. I'll be repping down here in North Carolina. And you said it's the dead of winter there. I'm gonna gloat a little bit on the weather. It is 72 degrees and sunny here today at HR Happy Hour HQ South, and I have to admit, relocating south about a year ago was probably the smartest thing I've done in, maybe ever.
You're not missing Rochester right now.
No, and that's where our friends from Paychex are, so I hope they're not freezing up there, but it's starting to get a little cold. So, so it's been a busy week. There was one other thing I wanted to mention. I write down notes during the week for these work break shows for interesting topics, and sometimes I never get to them often. So I had one here I never got to this week. I'm going to spring it on you, Madeline. I don't know if you heard this, but I'd love your thoughts on it. It's a workplacey thing. It was announced this week, and I never realized this was a thing, but everybody knows UPS, right? They announced this week, and again, I was shocked this was a thing. They announced this week they were lifting their ban on facial hair, mustaches, and beards for their drivers. So that's no longer banned. And a lot of it was news. I couldn't believe in 2020 that was a thing. That was still a thing.
Well, it's so funny. I know. I saw a tweet about it too, and I was surprised. And I saw somebody responded and said, well, I hope they also know that women can vote now too. It's like a little dig at them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the second part of the story that I wanted to mention too. So that's great, I guess, catching up in 2020 with, sometimes people have mustaches and beards and we're not frightened by them, right? Customers aren't frightened by them, but they still have, according to the article I read, they still have a ban on visible tattoos for their customer-facing people. And again, I'm thinking, my God, we were talking about that 10 years ago. I think we did an HR Happy Hour podcast in 2009 about, will having tattoos impact your career? So
interesting. Crazy.
I think I'm the only person left I know who doesn't have a tattoo.
I know. And to be honest, I've never even noticed. So now I'm going to just pay attention for interest to see if any UPS delivery people have tattoos.
Yeah, I suppose maybe you could get away with it if you're out doing the rounds. Like who's gonna call in their UPS delivery person for, hey, I saw a tattoo on my delivery person tonight. Like no one would. I don't think any sane person would.
I hope not. That sounds crazy. Yeah.
I don't know. So UPS, if you're out there, I think good on the facial hair deal. I'm questioning the tattoo ban. It's although that's in a way that could be good for me, which I could still get a job at UPS if need be. Like
there you go. There you go. Hold out.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's, I have one other kind of thing too, I'll mention too. You've been doing, you said you were on calls all day, right? A lot of Zoom calls, right? Did you get in the habit of, over the course of whatever, 8 months now, are you doing Zooms with like friends and family kinds of things too, to stay in touch? Is that something you're doing or have been doing?
Yeah, a little, to be honest, like more in the beginning of like the lockdown. And now it's like a little fatigue with, I just rather get on like a regular old phone call and talk to somebody. But I do a cooking call. I think I mentioned this on one that we did.
Yeah.
Jerry Crispin, Jason Warner, Gina Kelly. So it's super fun.
Yeah. So, I think I noticed the same thing. I have been doing a Zoom happy hour with my sort of extended family, which is a really small group of people, to be honest with you. We were doing it fairly regularly and it kind of petered out. And now we're just kind of in a group text chain. But the reason I mentioned this, and I saw this today, which was kind of a good move and I think a nice move by them, Zoom, which is kind of dominating this space, even on the personal space, they're lifting so if you have a free Zoom account, the length of your call is capped at 40 minutes. I don't know if you've run into that ever.
Yes.
Maybe people have. They're lifting that 40-minute ban or restriction for Thanksgiving. So for that, whatever window of time it's going to be, it'll probably start early in the morning and go to midnight. I don't know exactly how long it is, but the 40-minute ban will be lifted for Thanksgiving because lots of places around the country, right, sadly, are experiencing increasing cases of COVID and more restrictive work lockdown things. So if you want to Thanksgiving it up with people on Zoom, you can probably do it. You can just kind of all day it or something. I don't know. I'm not sure but that's a cool move by Zoom, though. I did want to pop that out and just sort of give them some kudos. So good on UPS, good on Zoom, good on my friends at Paychex. What's coming up, Madeline? Like, how's the rest of the year look for you?
Research. I mean, we've been writing so many research reports. I think a lot of, the focus on speaking engagements and conferences has now shifted to research. So new research reports coming up, the Beamery one that I mentioned, a strategic talent acquisition with Alexander Mann just published, a couple new things coming up. And then one thing I just want to give a shout out to too is a cool new vendor. I don't know if you have a cool new vendor segment, but there's a company, Predictive Hire, and they are awesome. They do automation and it's really for the candidate experience for interviews. So chat-based, it's really focused on and driven by intelligence. So they do the blinded interviews early and they provide candidates with feedback, which is unique, like almost like coaching. So it's like you go through the interview and then you get coached through this app on, how to do a better job in the interviews.
Yeah, and that's really underserved kind of area, right? We never do that, right? Especially companies, and I'm not blaming companies for not really giving that feedback and coaching. How can you sometimes when you've got hundreds of applicants or thousands of applicants and maybe dozens of interviews, it can be really, really difficult to give constructive and thoughtful interview feedback in only the most smallest examples, right? That's really interesting. So they're leveraging technology to kind of create a feedback loop for candidates. That's pretty cool. I'm not sure I've ever seen that.
Yeah, and they find that candidates like that. They prefer the chat-based than sometimes the video.
Yeah. That's really cool. I'll check them out. And we're excited too here. We get a lot going on as well. And I teased yesterday, we kind of did the first real HR tech planning call for next year, which is super exciting and optimistic it's going to happen in real life. So, hopefully things will improve in the balance of this year and we'll get moving going forward and sort of get back to 2021 being kind of what things were like in 2019. I can't believe we were talking the other day. It's like it's about 8 months now, really, literally since it all shut down, and it's absolutely insane. So I just one last thing for me, Madeline. I'm a little depressed. I've become a huge European soccer guy. I was always an English soccer guy. I've adopted the German league into my repertoire.
I had no idea.
Yeah, this year though, there's no England, no Germany, no France. None of they call the international break, so the countries play each other. I don't know what I'm going to do all weekend. shout out to my Liverpool Reds and my Wolfsburg, whatever they're called, the Wolfsburg team.
Oh, I didn't even know this, Steve. I had no idea. This is very cool.
Yes, I know. I'm like, that's how shallow my life's become, especially on weekends. Where like, what am I going to do? I can't watch like 18 hours of soccer.
I know. What about football?
Yeah, so I kind of tuned a little bit out. My problem with football, especially NFL, is the team I support is the worst team in the league and has been pretty consistently for like 10 years. Which
the Steelers?
The Jets.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Steelers are doing great. The Jets, that's what I meant.
Yeah. The Jets haven't won a game all season. So,
I know.
And I'm not as big a fan where I'll watch kind of just any game. I'll watch my team play, and they're awful. You're with the Patriots, though, right?
Well, we barely crushed you on Sunday with a close game. So
I did watch some of that. Yeah, that was a very Jetsian way to lose that game, by the way. To play well, to be competitive, give you that glimmer of hope that they might actually win, which they never do, and then lose at the very end. That was classic Jets.
Classic Jets. I read this article. It was hysterical. It was like, if anybody thought Flacco was the best quarterback ever in the first half, they quickly shifted to the second, where he didn't look so good.
All right. Well, hopefully things will improve for all our teams, and I'll figure out what to do this weekend in the morning, especially. All right, Madeline, this is super fun. Thank you for joining me on for the work break. Let's do it again soon. It's been a while. Let's get this, let's make this a thing. And next week, next time we'll do cocktails. We didn't get that organized.
Yeah, I need one today. So
I might go make one right after the show. So anyway, thanks to Madeline Laurano. Madeline, your website is for the folks who want to check you out.
AptitudeResearch.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at Mad Tarquin. And excited for the
Awesome stuff. So thank you, Madeline. Thanks, everybody, for listening. It's been a great week of shows. We will see you back here on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye for now.